The night I met her, the rain was coming down so hard it felt like the city was trying to wash itself clean. I remember standing under a flickering streetlight, holding a folded piece of paper in my shaking hand, wondering how my life had narrowed to this single decision. People think the word bought always means money and ownership. That night, it meant something else entirely. It meant taking responsibility for a choice that would drag my buried past into the light. She was called forbidden, not because she was dangerous, but because society had already judged her. The shelter warned me in quiet voices. Friends told me to stay away. Her file was thin, yet heavy with unspoken stories. She had burned bridges, they said. She didn't trust easily. She asked too many questions. I should have walked away. Instead, I signed the papers, paid the fee, and told myself I was only doing a practical thing. I was lying. When she arrived at my place, she stood at the door like someone ready to run. Her eyes scanned every corner, memorizing exits, measuring distance. She carried a small bag, the kind people pack when they don't expect to stay long anywhere. I showed her the guest room and told her she could stay the night. Just one night, I said. She nodded, but her silence was loud. It filled the house with things I didn't want to remember. The first challenge came quickly. Trust. She flinched when I spoke too suddenly. She locked the door twice. She barely touched the food I cooked. And me, I kept my distance, afraid of my own intentions. I had rescued her, I told myself. But rescue is easy to claim and hard to live up to. Real help requires patience, and patience forces you to face who you really are. That night, sleep refused to come. The house creaked like it was remembering things before I could stop it. Around midnight, I heard her in the kitchen. I found her sitting at the table, hands wrapped around a mug, staring at nothing. She didn't look surprised to see me. She looked tired. The kind of tired that comes from years, not days. She spoke first. She asked why I did it. Why I chose her when I could have chosen someone easier. The question hit harder than I expected. I opened my mouth, then closed it again. The truth was complicated. I told her a smaller version. I said I saw myself in her file. Someone labeled, dismissed, and left behind. She listened without interrupting, and for the first time, she didn't look like she was planning an escape. As the hours passed, stories slipped out between long silences. She talked about doors that closed too early in her life, about mistakes that followed her like shadows. I talked about my past, the one I kept locked away. Years ago, I had been the one people warned others about. I had been reckless, angry, and convinced the world owed me something. I lost people. I hurt people. And when I finally tried to change, no one wanted to believe me. The second challenge was guilt. As I spoke, the weight of my old failures pressed down on me. I realized I hadn't brought her into my home just to help her. I had brought her to confront the part of myself I never forgave. She didn't judge me. She didn't excuse me either. She simply said she understood what it felt like to be defined by your worst moment. Morning came quietly. Sunlight crept through the curtains, soft and forgiving. She had stayed the night, and nothing dramatic had happened. No miracles. No sudden transformation. Just two people who had survived long enough to recognize pain in each other. But something inside me had shifted. The days that followed were harder than the night. Helping her meant dealing with systems that didn't care, people who saw labels instead of faces. There were arguments. There were moments she packed her bag, convinced she didn't belong anywhere. There were moments I wanted to give up, afraid I wasn't strong enough to be what she needed. The biggest challenge came when my past caught up with me. Someone recognized my name, remembered who I used to be, and used it against me. They questioned my motives, my character, my right to help anyone at all. It would have been easier to step back, to let her go and protect myself. For a moment, I almost did. She was the one who stopped me. She told me that running would only prove them right. She reminded me that change doesn't erase the past, but it gives it meaning. Her words unlocked something I had sealed away for years. I realized that redemption isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up, even when the world doubts you. In time, things changed. Slowly. She found her footing. I found my courage. We learned how to live with our histories instead of hiding from them. She was never something I owned. She was a person who chose to stay. And I was never her savior. I was just someone willing to stand beside her. Looking back, I understand now. The night she stayed didn't just unlock my past. It taught me how to face it. The forbidden girl wasn't forbidden at all. She was honest. And through her, I learned that the bravest thing you can do is open the door to your own truth, even when you're afraid of what you'll find. Some nights still bring rain, and some memories still hurt. But I no longer stand under flickering lights wondering who I am. I know now. I am someone who chose not to walk away. And sometimes, that choice is enough to change everything.